Hey y'all, I am back with another Dunce update. This is the first year since the Rogue Invitational's inception that it took the competition overseas. Now, for us spoiled Americans,
excuse me, what did you just say?
It was our turn to switch roles, set those alarm clocks back to 3 a.m. if we wanted to catch the live coverage. And we definitely had to stay off social media to avoid any spoiler alerts. Now, I can probably imagine there were a lot of people who spent the whole entire weekend binge watching all of the event coverage. And then for others, you were carting your kids around to soccer and baseball practice, or you were out competing at another local comp.
Lydia Fish, Daniel Drew, Bryson Del Monte, Daniel Gilbo.
So you didn't get a chance to get caught up on everything that happened. Well, you're in luck. I'm going to give you a condensed recap of all the weekend events, all the action, all the drama, all the rumors and speculation. So buckle up, here we go. The weekend kicked off with the men. Quicksand was the first event. All the athletes had to wear a rucksack for the first half of this workout. Now, this was a choose your own adventure style workout for the sandbags. They were various sizes and shapes. The athletes were not briefed on the weight of each bag, but they could kind of anticipate based on what it looked like. Some were a traditional sized round sandbags. Some were the longer pill sized sandbags. One even looked like a Husafel bag from the 2022 games and a jerry can with like a handle on the end of it. The general strategy looked like all the athletes were trying to get the bigger bags across the line first, leaving the lighter weight bags for the end of the race. Final heat, no surprise, Ricky Garrard, Jeffrey Adler out with the early lead. These two switching leads back and forth throughout the race. They make their way in the arena on the final stretch of that run. They round the corner. Jeffrey Adler is about 4 seconds ahead of Ricky Garrard at this point. However, Ricky Garrard has a closer lane to come into. They both get into their lanes. Jeffrey is ahead, and Ricky Garrard hits the nos.
Garrard has put it on the gas. Garrard's got a shot. I think Ricky may have gotten it.
And flies through, beating out Adler by 0.2 of a second. It is so exciting. This is definitely a race you want to go back and watch, especially on the men's side. And then, no surprise, the first heat of women, Haley Adams, known for her aerobic capacity, starting and finished strong. She takes her heat win. And then in the final heat, in true Tia fashion, on day one, she comes out to make a statement.
Tia Toomey takes Quicksand. 100 points.
Just behind her in second is Gabby Magala, and in third, Emily Rolfe. Event 2 of the day was North Sea Tiger. The men were up first. Now, Guy was favored for this heat. He was the last one off the bike. He broke his muscle-ups into 2 sets. However, when he got to that snatch bar, it was smooth and steady.
On that first rep, it's important to catch a groove and find that settling point with 225 in the bottom of that squat, and Guy's done it right out the gate.
He was the first one off the bar, onto the shuttle sprints, and he took the heat win. And in the final heat of men, Dallin Pepper, first man off the bike, first man off the ring, first man off the snatches, onto the shuttle sprints.
Dallin Pepper is going to pull it off and win event 2.
And then in the final heat of ladies, Emily Rolfe was the first one off the bike. All of the ladies breaking up their ring muscle-ups into about 2 sets. Tia and Gabby end up getting to the barbell first, followed by Laura Horvath. However, once Laura got to the barbell, she looked a lot smoother on the snatches. Tia does get off onto the shuttle sprints before Gabby and Laura, so she ends up winning. Then Gabby and Laura are neck and neck. They are off the barbell at the same time. They head into their shuttle sprints, but Gabby, about 2 laps in, gets ahead of Laura and ends up beating her.
More than a minute. Here comes Gabby Magala across. She will take second.
Tensions were a little high on the field between some of the ladies. Laura not really making eye contact or talking to anybody. Gabby and Laura not acknowledging each other at all. If you are not up to date on that estranged relationship, let me fill you in.
We know what's going on. They used to be training they started off rough, then they became very close. She used to bang Laura's brother. And then at the games, we saw that division. We saw Christoph and Laura leave, and Ben Smith step in and mentor Gabby. And then we saw the back and forth on Instagram, which, you know, is pretty cryptic.
This was Gabby's check-in post the day of the CrossFit Games. Laura comments on there, and so does Christoph. Now, Gabby still follows Laura, but it does appear that Laura has since unfollowed her. And the final event for Friday was Braveheart.
But they'll never take our freedom!
Guy again setting the time to beat in the first heat of men.
he is done, and Guy Maieros with a heat win.
And in the final heat of men, Jeffrey Adler with a comfortable lead, Justin Medeiros following close behind him. Adler comes in, takes the event win. Justin Medeiros gets back to his back squat for his last 2 reps and gets no rep on his final rep. It appears he didn't open his hips before re-racking the weight.
He's quickly approaching 628.89 seconds, and now a no rep for Medeiros. He's got to do one more here, and that may cost him.
Judge makes him do another rep. He gets the rep, he runs in, and he still manages to beat out Guy's time. And then the ladies took the floor. Dani Spiegel, an obvious favorite to win her heat, and she does just that. Haley Adams struggling with that 260-pound back squat, doing singles from the start. However, Haley stayed composed, kept chipping away at it, even gave the crowd a smile when they were cheering for her.
She came into this nursing a little bit of a shoulder issue.
And for the final heat of ladies, Tia-Clair Toomey taking her 3rd straight event win for the day, followed up by Gabby Magala. Laura Horvath exposing the fact that she still hasn't filled the hole and gotten better at strict handstand push-ups, takes a 14th place in that event.
You put this girl upside down and have to make her push. And I guess the distinction was, and don't allow kipping. She's toast.
Yeah, and it's been like, we've been saying that since 2018.
Now on to day 2, things start to shake up a little bit. The first event of the day is hunting haggis. Now we have seen the log muscle up in years past. I don't think a lot of people have this equipment at home. And unfortunately, some of the people that struggled previously on this implement face the same fate this year. Alex Kazan showing no trouble on the log muscle ups, winning her heat and setting the tone for the final heat of ladies. Magala is the first one off of the thrusters onto the log muscle ups. However, she gets there and fails a couple of reps. Tia-Clair Toomey takes the lead there, followed by Laura Horvath. They are comfortably chipping away at those reps. Tia takes the win. Laura comes in second. Ariel Lowen comes in third. Unfortunately, that was Gabby's worst finish thus far, taking a 9th on that event. Jay Crouch, in his rookie appearance at the Rogue Invitational, wins his heat, setting the time to beat. And in the final heat, all of the men off the rower just about the same time, chipping away through those log muscle-ups. Ricky Garrard is the first back to his thrusters, taking his 2nd event win of the weekend, followed closely by Dallin Pepper in 2nd and Jeffrey Adler in 3rd. And this is where things start to get interesting. Devil's Tail, appropriately named. Now, we all know this was a favorable event for Laura with the rope climb implement. She's also really strong with any kind of weight overhead. Laura breezing through the rope climb, charges into the lead, with Tia and Gabby closely on her tail. Laura ends up winning the event, beating Tia out by 14 seconds. This is the first interview that Laura has with Kiki Dixon on the competition floor.
You know, this is what Europe feels like. So the CrossFit community in the States should watch this because we are coming.
There were some people that were kind of rubbed the wrong way about the fans in the States needing to pay attention. I wonder if any athletes stop to think, what has changed in the last 4 to 5 years with the American fans? I was there in Rogue Invitational in Columbus, Ohio, in the States, and this was the crowd. Just some food for thought. Back in 2020, when a lot of athletes were really outspoken, posting black squares saying they were out, canceling the founder of the methodology in our community that we have grown to love so much over a tweet that they didn't even take the time to understand what the meaning was behind it.
Nobody looked into where that quote was from. All you had to do was put it in Google, and that article, the journal, and it's a medical journal article, right? Right.
I'm not saying that's the reason the fans in the States have been less engaged, but it certainly didn't help our community. Nonetheless, the gloves were off. Laura goes on to say in this interview that the workout had her name written all over it, and she wasn't wrong.
To be honest, I wasn't paying attention. This workout has my name written all over it, so I just had to execute.
Kiki asked her about the leaderboard, and she came back with...
Again, we're about to change that. Yeah.
Now it was time for the men to take the floor. Every man in the first heat got capped except for Henrik Kapelainen. And the final heat of men, Hopper, Garrard, Adler, Pepper, Fikowski, all battling it out. Jason Hopper takes the win. Jeffrey Adler comes in second, followed by Ricky Garrard.
How good does it feel to call your shot and execute?
It feels good. I was a little pissed about the log muscle-ups.
And then the final event of the day, one of the 2 events that hadn't been announced. The Duel 4 was an elimination style event. Daniel Brandon being one of the first athletes to do rebounding touch and go reps over the hay bale. showing the athletes that if you wanted to win, you were going to have to do the same. You were going to have to make smooth work of the sled and no mistakes on the power stairs. After the first round, the top 15 athletes advanced to the next round. And then from there, it was down to 10, and then it was down to 5. And this is when the unexpected happened. Gabby Magala, in her 4th rep over the hay bale, stops the event.
From the up and overs, and then it will be about the distance Laura can close down the stretch.
Well, Brett putting a lot of weight on that left foot. I hope she is okay.
She is seen being carried off of the field. It is later revealed that she likely tore her Achilles tendon. Gabby said in an interview with Patrick Clark of Be Friendly Fitness that she will be headed off to Poland to meet with her doctor, likely have surgery this week, and start her road to recovery. Now, when Gabby was seen walking off of the field, some of the people in the stands got a video of her, and you can see Laura walk right past Gabby, not make eye contact, not say anything to her.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, give these athletes a round of applause. Heading into our top 5.
Laura Horvath goes on to the final with a face-off against Emma Tall. She beats out Emma Tall, takes the event win. Now it was time for the men to take the floor. A couple of rounds in, unfortunately, the same thing that happened to Gabby happened to Henrik Haapalainen. In one of his first traverse over the hay bale, he appears to have torn his Achilles tendon as well.
Here we go, ladies and gentlemen, up and over on that
Wow.
Walked off the floor by the medical staff.
He almost had a chance.
He later goes on to post on his Instagram story that it does appear he has an Achilles tendon tear as well. After Haapalainen is carried off the floor, the next heat continues on. It is at the start of the 3rd round when the top 10 men advance that Sean Woodland, the announcer, comes on and states that they changed the implement, adding in a burpee prior to the up and over in order to stop athletes from rebounding.
We're going to change the standard. They made an adjustment for athlete safety. Instead of the up and overs, it's now 5 burpee up and overs.
The final match was between Brent and Guy. Guy ends up being the winner. A lot of people in the community weighing in on this decision in the Rogues live stream chat, as well as other big YouTube personalities. We all know that 2 PFAA board members are competing in this competition. Andrew Hiller quickly takes to his Instagram to post about it. Even Fee Sagafi commented on his post. And there were some others with a not so gentle delivery on their opinion.
The benchmark of fitness has said if we're going to do a box jump in any way that athletes could potentially bound, you have to step down. And now you come to an event like this and you can all of a sudden do it. And in fact, to win the workout, you have to do it. Those 2 athletes there that you're supposed to be protecting, that's on you, it's my opinion.
Hey, so
now going into the final day, Tia and Laura are comfortably in the lead in 1st and 2nd place. Gabby Magala still holding down 3rd place. However, she had to pull out of the competition, so that opened the door for a new podium spot. The race being between Alex Gazan and Ariel Lowen. And on the men's side, Jeffrey Adler with a 40-point lead over Ricky Garrard in 2nd, followed by Dallin Pepper in 3rd. Now, the first event up for the day was a triplet. It was a pegboard, a ski erg, and a GHD. Now, these athletes are no stranger to a pegboard. However, few athletes have done it horizontally. And Rogue did announce the horizontal pegboard prior to the competition to give the athletes some time to practice. However, some were still just not getting the hang of it. Haley Adams taking a majority of her heat just to complete 1 rep on the pegboard.
Point to still be at that point on the pegboard. Probably had to reset. Was going 1 peg at a time.
And she's going to have to work her way back to the beginning.
Ariel Lowen and Paige Semenza also having trouble.
Clearly at this point, like, it's not just that she's missing pegs. Her grip is pretty shot. Clearly, that's why you see the rest taking place.
As well as Danielle Branding showing visible frustration with her attempts.
Laura Horvath has been signing autographs for the last 10 minutes.
3, 2. Now, we all knew this was going to be a great event for Laura with her rock climbing background.
Oh, Laura making some good time now. It's really picked up the pace here. Yeah, you'll notice that Tarzan style swinging that she's got. Watch her hips leverage side to side. She's able to.
Laura easily wins this event. In her post interview with Kiki Dixon, however, she seems a little bit irritated that Kiki brings up the fact that she's good at rope climbing.
Like this. Dude, you guys ask me so much. Like, I don't know, have you tried climbing? It's all like in the forearm, and the pegboard is also pretty much in the forearm. So
I have to say the cheers didn't seem as loud for Laura after this interview. I think the fans in the arena, as well as the fans at home, were a little taken back by what she said.
So it just paid off.
Now, the pegboard, not so.
All the men in the final heat showing no signs of trouble. Fikowski out with an early lead, having a really good cadence and rhythm on the pegboard, as he has done this a couple of times before in competition. Fikowski takes the event win, Jay Crouch in second, Jeffrey Adler in third. This event did shake some things up for the men. Ricky Garrard and Dallin Pepper did finish outside of the top 10. This was Brett's first post-event interview on the floor with Kiki Dixon. And
Is there anything you'd like to say to the fans that are watching?
Oh, man. I mean, yeah, thank you. It's just.
Again, I think it was another missed opportunity to thank the sport of CrossFit and the creators behind it for giving him this platform and this opportunity to become the elite athlete that he is. Event 8 was tightrope. In the final heat of ladies, I think a lot of people had their money on Danielle Brandon. She's incredibly good at longer distance handstand walking. She has great overhead shoulder mobility, and double unders never seem to be a problem for her. However, Tia and Laura came out leading the pack from the beginning. Laura edging out Tia and taking the unexpected win. In this post-interview, Laura seemed to be a little bit more humbled. Maybe somebody gave her some feedback from the last interview. Laura said that Sunday is historically her favorite day, and she didn't want to let the fans down. When she was asked how she felt going into the final event being the sandbag event, she said, "Bring it on. I love a heavy sandbag." That was Laura's 4th straight event win of the weekend, tying her with Tia for event wins. Now on the men's side, James Sprague, your 2024 CrossFit Games champion, took the heat win and set the time to beat for the men. James only having 2 top 5 finishes leading up to this event. And in the final heat of men, Jay Crouch and Brent Fikowski battling it out most of this heat, nobody paying attention to Justin Medeiros.
Second, but did Justin Medeiros get in? Justin Medeiros did get in.
And he comes in and takes the heat win, beating him out by 2 seconds.
Justin Medeiros is going to win the event. We absolutely did not see that.
Justin, always a good sport. In his post-interview, he actually throws it back at the announcers and thanks them for not paying attention to him and telling him where the other guys were in the race.
It was perfect. The announcers didn't say my name at all. I got to know exactly where those guys were. It was perfect.
And the final event, the excavator. Now with Tia comfortably in first place, she would have had to really bomb this workout in order for Laura Horvath to end up winning the Rogue Invitational. And on paper, this event looked like it could be a big win for Laura. However,
to her final rep. A no rep for Horvath. Toomey's got it. 5 event wins. 4.
She was edged out by Danny Spiegel and Ariel Lowen and ended up taking 4th in this event.
Lowen has it. She's going to get in. Now Kazan's got to finish right behind her. Kazan's got to be next, and she's not. Horvath is in.
And that placement for Ariel Lowen pushed her up onto the podium. In Tia's final interview with Kiki Dixon on the event floor, she asked her how she feels about regaining her title, and she actually says that she thought a lot of people doubted that she could win. I sure as heck didn't. I think a lot of people were looking to this event to answer the question that we didn't get answered at the CrossFit Games. I think this win at Rogue Invitational puts all that to rest. Laura is a phenomenal athlete, but she is not Tia-Clair Toomey. At some point during the weekend, I believe on Saturday, Laura Horvath did post to her Instagram. She posted a picture from her notes app which read, "What about me would make you think that I care about your opinion of me? Your opinion of me is not the opinion that I have of myself."
To you. And by the way, everyone cares what everyone thinks. We know that's horse shit. If you didn't care what other people think, you wouldn't write, "I don't care what other people think."
In your final heat of men, Jason Hopper wins the event, securing his spot on the podium. Jeffrey Adler being your Rogue Invitational champion. Now, some other rumors were floating behind the scenes in some of the media circles.
I did hear, and it's becoming more and more concrete as the weekend goes on. I did hear a rumor about someone potentially leaving their camp and joining another camp.
Rumors circulating that Laura and Adler will not be competing this year at the CrossFit Games, that they have already made that claim. I have not.
Hey guys, just want to tell y'all, I did not flip off the crowd. I'm a good boy. I wouldn't do such thing. I just stepped on the line. I put my thing on the line. That's what happened. Have a good night.
So the report we're getting is Danny Spiegel was 25 double under short on the first round, 15 short on the second round. Third round, she did all 100.
We're also starting to see a little bit more content coming out on social media of some interviews with some of the athletes throughout the weekend. Saxon Panchak had a funny interview. He actually got pulled over by the cops while he was there.
Well, I was driving on the wrong side of the road, and they're like, you know why we pulled you over? I was like, I have no idea.
And of course, Andrew Hiller yesterday released his video on his thoughts and opinions of the Rogue Invitational. If you haven't already seen that, go check it out. Rogue really did put on an amazing event in Scotland. The broadcasting, the live stream was phenomenal all weekend long. I was really expecting to see one traditional strongman type event for the individual athletes. Last year, they had the deadlift.
And she will make it.
The year prior, they had the Texas Oak Log Clean and Jerk event.
Trouble here, he failed his first attempt. In second place overall coming into this.
And I think the year before that was the Barbell Bellow Complex. So,
Sevan. So strong. If you want to see really where the strength lies, is watch his legs on the squat. There's barely any movement, any caving in of the...
All in all, the Rogue Invitational did not disappoint. I do encourage you to go back. You can find all the live streams on the Rogue Fitness YouTube channel. That is all for this dense update. Be sure to leave a comment, like, and subscribe to this YouTube channel. And if you're into that sort of thing, you can head over to my Instagram page and follow me there for all the latest updates in the CrossFit community.